Well, this guitar, I've been building these guitars for 60 years now, and this one's number 939, and it's a nice one made out of nice rosewood and stuff. But we've had a really a bad storm here in the last couple of weeks ago. The Hurricane Helene, come. We usually don't get a hurricane all the way up here in the mountains, but it it's tore up all kinds of stuff, and we have a wonderful volunteer rescue squad here in our community that's been worked like crazy for years and years, and they're super important around here because people don't we're real remote, and it's hard to get medical help and or anything, without having to do a lot of traveling. And that rescue squad has been absolutely wonderful thing here for years and years. And I've played music and stuff for their festivals and their dinners, a thing for about as long as I can remember and stuff. And they're super important. But that storm really made a mess of it totally flooded their building down here. And even while that storm was going on, they was out trying to help people, and a lot of people hurt and stuff. But if you see one go secondhand, at some of the big companies, sometimes they bring $60,000, like that. And I thought if I could put this guitar out on some kind of where it would be displayed and seen by lots of people, we might get a good bunch of money for it. And I'm going to donate it to the rescue squad down here. Well, it's a fairly, it's fairly fancy guitar because it's got abalone inlaid all around the top. If you're talking about Martin's numbers, it would be like a D42, and it's what they would call it. The one's got the pearl on the front, and the spruce in the top is pretty special stuff. It comes from Europe, over there where it's where Stradivarius and the famous violin makers got their wood, and where they lived and worked. And it's what they call moon spruce. It's pretty real close kin to the red spruce that we have around here, and it's what the guitar companies used back in the 20s and 30s to make their tops with. It's real similar to that, but it's over in Europe, and close in the area of Austria, and maybe even the edge of Siberia and stuff like that. Those trees probably have never been cut over there, and that's how it grows so slow and such fine grain. The grain lines are probably no more than a 32nd of an inch apart. Especially here and out here, the widest ones are not much more than a 16th, maybe 16 lines to an inch, and that can be considered old growth and fine grain wood. And that's for the top. The struts and braces on the inside are made out of spruce that comes from Alaska. I've just always done that, and some of the old builders did that, and it's just you can see the little pieces on the inside that are, we call them braces, made out of a certain kind of wood and a certain grain of wood. The back and sides are made out of Brazilian rosewood, which is wood that you have to have documentation and legal paperwork and stuff to even get now. And but this was cut way before the ban on it or anything. And when it's old growth wood like that, it's it's old enough when you see that. And it's some of the best tone wood that there is. I'm just tapping on the back of it, and you can hear it resonate and sound. That's a good sign. It'll be a good sounding guitar. And the inlay around the top is abalone shells. Comes from, most all of that abalone comes from Pacific Ocean, California places, and it comes out of a seashell about that big around. And nowadays you can buy it, laminated together and in a sheet, but I have to saw it up into little strips that are this wide, like a 1/16 of an inch wide. And you inlay first, when you build this guitar, a little strip of Teflon, which won't glue very good. You get a hold of that and pull it out when you get it inlaid and sanded down. Then you've got this little channel left that you can put the abalone in. And then you super glue it in there and then work it all down. Well, this is the neck that goes with that guitar. I've put the wood filler in it, and I still need to stain it. It'll be prettier color, when I do that. Just a rub-on stain makes it a dark brown color. And it's mahogany from Central America. And a little bit unusual piece because it has fiddleback curl figure in it. It'll be sort of stripedy looking when it looks like, they call it fiddleback because it looks like the back of a violin fiddle, The grain goes wavy, and so it's pretty and striped. And the fingerboard is made out of ebony that comes from Africa. The best of it comes from Gabon in Africa. And that's a fairly rare wood, but they've used it for fingerboards for years because it grows that color. It's black. And that's no stained color or anything on it. And it's this black wood, and it's extremely dense, hard wood, which will stand years of finger wear and where you play on it and all that. And it's a nice piece of rosewood on the peg head up there. David Mathis does most of my inlay work. And nowadays, I used to saw this stuff by hand with a jeweler saw, but I don't have patience or eyesight to do that anymore. And so David does all that stuff. And this one's sort of extra fancy because it's got a abalone inlay, and it's got a tiny little border of mother of pearl around. Mother of pearl is a different kind of a seashell. It's white and looks what it is, pearly, And the piece there where the name is a piece of mother of pearl, because see, it's white colored, and the abalone has more color. Looks like a rainbow. It's colored pink and green and all sorts of nice colors. This piece of wood comes from a 4x4 to start with, like a big block, and all I use to cut it with is a bandsaw when it comes down to this, to get it down to this shape and size. I rough saw it out with a bandsaw, and then belt sander, just those 6x48 belt sanders I use to shape the most of it. When I get right down to the end, I do quite a bit of work with a pocket knife. And I used to would shape these necks with nothing but a pocket knife because I didn't have anything else. And I guess I got so used to that I still, up here where this little volute thing is, and they're all around in here, and the heel carving down in here, I do all that with a pocket knife. And well, I tell people to send me a note if you want a guitar, and I'll do what I can to get to it. And that's a whole row of them up there that I stick in this old mail case. And whether I'll ever get to them or not, I don't know. Probably not that many, but lots of people wait, and I'm not a business person at all. And that's another thing makes getting the guitar a little bit unusual. It's not like just go in the store and buy it or tell me you want one, I've got it done in 2 weeks. It just don't work like that. I sure hope you can be able to help our local rescue squad, because that's important to us, and I would love to be able to help some, and I hope you'll be able to help us.